Got vision and destiny. Add elemental, that's chemistry. All those heroes, that's infinity. It's endgame.
Yugi peoples, welcome to the deck profile for my Get Shifty Hero deck. Y'all saw me upload one of my duels yesterday. Fire Kings is, a pretty good matchup for this deck, because they need to destroy cards, send them to the graveyard in order to get a lot of their effects. And this deck, along with running D Shifter, we turbo out our Dark Law and, it just eliminates them from having a graveyard and such. So, yeah, it's a pretty decent deck as long as you're playing against Fire Kings and other decks that, really need to utilize and use their graveyard. Other decks that it plays against not so well, and then also just like some of the hands that you draw, like trying to play into a board is not too easy. But you can say that for most decks when you don't have it, when you don't draw any going second cards. But yeah, this is the deck profile, updated 2024 version. And yeah, it did pretty well in the tournament. Like I said, Fire Kings became a really easy matchup. It was like the other matchups, such as like Rescue Ace, that don't necessarily need their graveyard and can still do things through like, multiple disruptions and stuff. But, I decided after the video uploaded yesterday, I'm also going to upload one of the videos where I lost so that, y'all can see the problems and issues with the deck as well. But yeah, so other than that, let's go ahead and jump into this deck profile here. It is 41 cards. It could be 40 or 42, and such. It's just a matter of preference. All right. So first of all, we have here 3 solid soldiers, something you won't really see in most other hero decks, but he's needed to special summon out your Shadow Mist because you want to, like I said, make Dark Law. Then you have your 3 Shadow Mists because you want to get to Dark Law as soon as possible. Then just 2 Stratos because Stratos is okay in this deck. Basically you really only want to summon him off of a Hero Lives. You don't want to normal summon him because there's no like Ferris or Extender or anything inside of this deck in order for him to go search for and to make plays off of. This is your main normal summon. It's Solid Soldier into Shadow Mist or, into Stratos. And then our only follow-up play is really Liquid Soldier. You could put 2 of these off in there, to give yourself like an extra turn for follow-up and such. Yeah, probably definitely something I should have did since you do play like multiple emergency calls and stuff, when you need that other follow-up stage, you could go into another Liquid Soldier. I was only running 1 at first because I was running Pot of Desires, but I actually like took it out for this tournament because Pot of Desires was, I don't know, sometimes it was causing issues and conflicts and such, so I decided to take it out. Then we got our 1 Honest Neos, definitely needed in this format because of Garunix and Kieran and such, and they can easily attack over your Dark Law. So you want to have the Honest Neos to protect him from, Kieran plays, from the Bestials and such. So yeah, definitely needed off in there. As you can see, very, very small hero package, kind of reminiscent to Hero Beat. You got, what is it, 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 monsters inside of the deck, and then like the other monsters that are often here are kind of just like extenders, and then the ones that are technically monsters are basically just your searchers. So yeah, that's the E-Hero lineup. I said I really wanted to cut this down because sometimes I hate drawing multiple solid soldiers, but he's your best normal summon inside of the deck, so best to keep it at 3. All right, so we got that E-Hero lineup. Then, if you only got 10 monsters off in there, that the spells and traps are, the kind of like the bread and butter of the deck. We got the 3 emergency calls there, something you won't really see in most hero decks nowadays either. You got 3 A Hero Lives, pretty standard. You still want to have that. Special summon out Stratos, search whether you're searching Solid Soldier or Shadow Mist, whichever one. And then sometimes, like if you don't have either Solid Soldier or Shadow Mist inside of your hand, as you saw like in my game 1 against Fire Kings, I just, the Hero Lives out the Shadow Mist, search for Mass Change, and pass turn. One of the other good things about this deck is it doesn't really play into Nib, so you don't really have to worry about Nib with this deck either. Got 3 Mass Change there. kind of like the namesake of the deck. Then for extenders, we do have 2 instant contacts here. One of the other things I really like about this deck is with like SP Little Knight. Say for instance, you got your Solid Soldier, but you don't really have anything to summon out there. You can use your instant contact, bring out the little Neospatian Aqua Dolphin thing, and you can make SP Little Knight, and he gets his banish effect because, you know, the Neospatian Aqua Dolphin guy is a fusion monster. So yeah. Then one of the new additions to the deck, I did add In Shuffle to the deck because, like I said, like Stratos was like a pretty bad, like if you just summon out Stratos and aren't able to do or get anything, because like he can't go search for Ferris in this combo. There's no polymerization to extend, you know, with the Stratos play. So I put In Shuffle off inside of there so that when I do have that Stratos play, you know, I can use him to go search out like my Liquid Soldier or my Honest Neos or whichever one, you know, is better for me to go get. And then I can In Shuffle him and special summon out the Shadow Mist and be able to search my Mass Change. So yeah, it was actually like pretty useful. It helped, you know, quite a little bit. I would say like the only regret that I had was not including what's his name, Elemental Hero Spirit of Neos. I feel like if I included him off in there and also like one of the level 7 hero monsters, I could have like instant contact and made like Big Eye or, you know, something like that. So, you know, that's actually something to consider, is maybe adding a second In Shuffle, and then also, you know, adding a level 7, adding an In Shuffle, adding a Spirit of Neos, and adding a level 7 monster, hero monster or Neospatian to the extra deck so that you can make rank 7 plays also. Then we got the 1 reinforcement of the army, you know, and honestly, you know, probably one of the emergency calls could be cut so that you can put in that second In Shuffle and then just go to 42 cards with the Spirit of Neos, because it could easily be a 42 card deck and I'm pretty sure it would be pretty fine. Then a couple more extenders, 2 Shade Brigadines. This one, you know, is just a easy rank 4, let you make a rank 4 monster. And then also make Time Thief Redoer. Sometimes Redoer can be like a really, really good option depending on like, you know, what you're playing against. And then a Thrust Target in my Derma Cannon. This card, you know, pretty good when you're going first and you get hand trapped and such, and you just thrust set this, and you know, it's usually, you know, as long as you time it well, you know, you can, you know, kind of shut your opponent down at some point and, you know, get an extra turn off inside of there. As you can see, like, all right, well, yeah, this is my spell and trap lineup for the most part, except for my going second cards. I'll put them inside of like a separate little thing, but I actually decided not to play any hand traps with this deck because I feel like one of the main problems with the deck when I was trying it out, you know, in the earlier months was protecting my Dark Claw and such. And hand traps, since they don't really destroy the monster, they weren't exactly helping me, you know, protect my monsters and such on the board. So, you know, I kind of changed it up a little bit. But, you know, part of the namesake of the deck is D-Shifter. This is our, you know, shifty part. We're get shifty. But yeah, gotta have that off in there. A lot of times if you draw this card and, you know, you're going second, you basically you hand trap them Dark Claw, and then on your turn you're gonna special summon Dark Claw, so they haven't had any graveyard for the entire game, and you pretty much just basically win. Like, Shifter is just so good, you just win games pretty easily. Then Super Poly was an amazing addition to the deck. Like, it gives me the ability to OTK my opponents a lot easier because of Solid Soldier plays. You know, if he leaves the monster zone because of a spell and trap card, then you can also special summon elemental hero or summon the hero from your graveyard. And, you know, a lot of times you special summon like the Shadow Mist or Stratos, and you're able to go search for Honest Neos, or you're able to go search for Mass Change and put extra damage on the board, because not only do you get the fusion monster, but you also get to special summon another, you know, hero from the grave and such. So yeah, pretty good card. Also, even if you're just using it to put your opponent's monsters together, it's really good. Y'all saw me do it against Fire Kings, where he had the, what was it? I think the one that negates spells and traps, and then Garunix out there on the board. We just super poly him, made Mud Dragon, and continued to attack and such. So yeah. Then, like I said, I took other hand traps and stuff out, but we got two 2 thrust and 1 tactics card was amazing. Like I said, there were times where I got hand trap, just tactics into Droma Cannon, or if I'm going second, I could tactics into talents to get to draw, or to go search out like a hero lives or something like that. Just kind of versatile in that thing, or go search out Imperm, whichever one you really just need. Then 3 Book of Moons. This was part of me wanting to protect my Dark Law and such, and like I said, like the main thing, like the Babushka, also protecting him was pretty important, because SP Little Knight is kind of like a mainstay in like so many decks, and you Book of Moon one of those monsters so that they can't make SP Little Knight and easily out your Babushka. And yeah, because that thing can't get switched to defense, so Link monsters get their effects with him out on the board, so you want to prevent them from doing things such as that. So yeah. And then we got the 3 Imperms. Hand trap doesn't trigger tactics talent, so it's all good. And as you can see, we got the the magic number of going second cards. We're able to play 12 of them pretty easily inside of this deck. Pretty solid ones. Don't regret this lineup at all. It was very useful for me. Like I said, Super Poly was doing work. It's amazing, especially like if you can discard like Shadow Mist and just different stuff like that. Yeah, so that is the main deck. It is 41 cards. I feel like I said it could have been like 42. Maybe take out an E-Call, put in an End Shuffle, and add in Spirit of Neos, and then maybe like a rank 7 to the or level 7 to your extra deck, so that you can make some rank 7 plays and such. But yeah, that is the main deck right there. And then for the extra deck, we have 1 Anki, OTK enabler, Mass Hero Den. This card was amazing. One of my opponents was so surprised when he came out to the board and saw what he did. And yeah, it's just made for like some easy OTKs type stuff. Then, of course, the namesake of part of the deck, 2 Dark Laws. Gotta have them. And then you got the 1 Mass Hero Blast. And yeah, pretty much the main masked hero targets. The only one that's missing is like Acid, and I don't know, there just didn't really seem like a need for Acid, but there's definitely an argument for it. You could definitely put Acid off inside of there, maybe remove a Dark Law. I don't know, it just kind of feels like there was never really a time where I needed the second one as far as I can remember. Yeah, so you probably don't need 2 of them off in there. Most of the time, like, I can't think of any duel, like, matter of fact, in like all the games and stuff that I've played with this where I actually needed both Dark Laws. Like, yeah, it's probably very, very rare. But so, that is an option. You could just replace one of the XYZ monsters that I'm going to show as well. These are basically like my 2 Super Poly targets, of course, Baruda, Mud Dragon, and then my instant fusion target, my Neospatian Dolphin. I said he's really good now because of SP Little Knight, so you can take him and whatever other hero monster you have out there and make SP Little Knight and get SP Little Knight's effect because he is a fusion monster. And then also like one thing to remember also, because like I said, this is like a deck where you want to shut your opponent going down 1 turn, and then the next turn OTK them. It's like Garuda's effect to attack directly and like do double damage to them, or when he does damage to them to double it up, like comes in pretty handy. So when you're going for game, don't forget about that. Do not forget about that part right there. And then my Exceed monsters, you got Zeus and Typhon, of course. And then, Babushka is pretty much the main one you bring out. Abyss Dweller for those times where you can't get to Dark Law or to Shifter. And yeah, you can just Abyss Dweller them, a lot of decks. And then Time Thief Redoer, also off inside of here, just like a card that I like. And then you got your Blade Armor Ninja. I mean, like, he's really good for the OTK part. He could be cut. Like I said, this is like pretty flexible. Like, these 2 aren't necessarily just needed. They're just like preference things, but they could easily be like, Big Eye and level 7 hero monster that you can use for instant contact and such. Like these two, I would probably keep these off of here. Typhon, I would definitely keep off of here. Zeus is kind of optional, like it's like, but he gives like after you babuska them and you go into your second turn attack with it. If you can't finish them off, it is good to be able to slam the Zeus on top of that. So I probably wouldn't cut this one. And yeah, so these two are definitely cuttable, not necessarily needable. Redoer is often there. I feel like sometimes depending on the deck that I'm playing against, he might be a better option than Babushka. But usually these two are just like the best two options and stuff in order to go into. And then you have my one link monster, SP Little Knight. There was a game that I played against Rescue Ace, and I really felt like maybe there should be like a rank 3 monster or something that I can go into in order to make it like a little bit better for me, maybe like a unicorn or something like that. But now that I think about it, I think in that game what I should have did, because he had a monster that I couldn't out, and I don't think I actually thought about Typhon, or could I go into Typhon? Maybe I couldn't even go into Typhon because maybe he didn't summon multiple monsters from his extra deck that turn. So just like the extra deck is kind of modifiable. You got quite a few flex spots. Like not all this stuff is necessarily needed. The Anki, like I said, one of the Dark Laws, these two guys. So you can kind of flip it, play with it, decide what you want to do with it in order to make it work. Like also, like one of the things, also to remember doing, like when I talked about Abyss Dweller, is that your instant contact target is a water. So, make sure to keep that on him. And then also, if you make him with Mud Dragon, it's also a water. So, sometimes that 2200 attack can make a difference. So, do keep that in mind. Yep, that is the extra deck. You can kind of modify it, work it out how you want to, decide how it works best for you. Like I said, these two are very, very flexible. I just wanted to play the Time Thief Redoer since I was playing a trap monster. But these two are definitely the main ones that you're going to pretty much use all the time. And yeah, that is the extra deck right there. And then for my side deck, of course, 3 Drolls, for some of those decks like Runic and Pearly and all those decks that like to search regular hero they like to search over and over and over and over again. You got your 3 Rolling Lockbirds. And then for decks like Branded and even like Fire Kings and such, I thought that Ash would still be pretty good against them. And yeah, I just didn't really want to play a bunch of hand traps because I know a lot of people are on tactics, and yeah, I've been getting hit with a lot lately, so I just decided to eliminate that from my opponent's usage and just play those. Then we got our back row removal, 2 Lightning Storms, Harpy Feather Duster, because I don't like Labyrinth. Yeah, Labyrinth can be a little tough to play against, especially since we're not running acid. Argument for acid. 3 Cosmic Cyclone. This card, is really good going against the Runic deck. Also going against Fire Kings. So many decks. Like I'm seeing Adventure. Adventure Plunder popping up in my area and stuff, to hit the adventure cards and stuff. Cosmic Cyclone, also good against Centurion. And yeah, it's just like a very flexible card. Probably should be definitely included at 3 inside the extra deck, especially like if Runic continues to be a big deck. Like you got to get rid of that field spell and keep them from just like recycling and doing things to you over and over again. Then we got our Dark Ruler no more. Big, huge board negate. Just negate all of it. D-Barrier, another good going second option if the Durma Cannon isn't enough. Magic Deflector for decks against like Runic and such like that. And then 1 Evenly Match. Basically, these cards all become 3-ofs with triple tactics thrust. So just thrust targets to have things that might help you play and win the game and such. And yeah, Oh, that is the side deck also. I hate that I didn't get a chance to use this card. I wanted to see how good it really was, but you know, plenty of other matches and such to come. But yeah, that is the deck profile for my Get Shifty Hero deck, updated 2024. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all let me know what changes you make for it and how the deck ends up working for you. And you know, like I said, like we'll just go ahead and show you like the main play of the deck, like what you want to do. Like you can get to it in multiple ways, but you know, pretty much what you want to do is this, and you grab your mass change. You want to go Hero Lives into Stratos to search either one of these that you're missing. Then you'll normal summon the Solid Soldier, special summon out the Shadow Mist, go get your mass change. So there you have 3 summons, and then you're gonna go ahead and put these together to make your Babushka. That is your 4th summon, and then you can pass right there. So yeah, 4 summons sets it up. Like I said, you can make any XYZ monster that you want. Like if you had got the Shade Brigadine, you can go into Redoer. If you're really concerned about what your opponent, you know, might out the Dark Law, or say Babushka's not all that great against them, you can also go into Abyss Dweller there, you know, and like I said, any other rank 4 monster that you want, you know, you can play it off in there, go into it. There was one point where I was running Tornado Dragon, and yeah, he was really good. And then you set the mass change on your opponent's turn in the standby phase. I would go ahead and activate it. That way, if they do have tactics, you know, you don't have to worry about getting hit with that. But you know, you mass change, send a Shadow Mist, go ahead and like sometimes, like what I like to do is like summon in an attack position and then be like, ah, crap, Babushka, and then, you know, switch them to defense. And you know, like a lot of times, you know, they'll think, oh, Dark Law is negated, but his effect to banish is not negated because it's a continuous effect. So yeah, sometimes you can use that to your advantage by, you know, acting kind of dumb with it. But then with your Shadow Mist, you're either gonna search out your Honest Neos or your Liquid Soldier. Of course, if Babushka is out there on the board, you probably don't want to search out the Honest Neos because it's not going to help you too much, and unless you already have, you know, your follow-up for next turn. But you definitely want to get the Liquid Soldier, because on your next turn it's going to be, you know, Liquid Soldier, either special summon a Shadow Mist or special summon the Stratos that you're going to discard off of the Babushka in the standby phase. So, you know, it's just up to you. But yeah, that's basically how the deck works. Appreciate everybody for staying a while to listen, and I will catch y'all on the next visual.
Infamy, my wingman, he come through, he level up, he go cool, he's shining out and popping to over 9K, that's a breakthrough, we on top now, here's a look at our world.